Hi, welcome back to Valley Kids. I am Pastor Jim, your host for today, and you may notice that I am outside at our church campus. And the reason I'm doing this is because I am placing little clues all over the church campus that will be used in today's challenge of the week. Carson and Kate are going to have to find the clues, and one clue will lead them to the next location, and that location will have a clue, which will lead them to the next clue until they reach the final clue. Today on Valley Kids, we're talking about clues. And did you know that all throughout the Bible and all throughout human history, God left little clues pointing us to how He would save the world through Jesus? That's right, all throughout the Bible. In fact, we find the very first clue about Jesus in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. The Bible says, "And I will cause hostility between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He will strike your head, and you will strike his heel." Wow, what an amazing clue about Jesus. Did you understand it all? Probably not, because it's got a little bit of a riddle-like feeling to it. But today we want to make it clear to you that God knew all along that Jesus was coming, and He gave clues to people to know how and when and where He would come. Welcome to Valley Kids. Let's get started. All right, Carson and Kate, it is time for the next challenge of the week. Do you feel ready for this?
Maybe.
Great. We have been talking about prophecy today, and prophecies were like little clues that God dropped in the Bible all along the way for people to find out who would save the world from the sin problem that they had. So today, Carson and Kate, you will be playing a clue challenge. Clue challenge means I'll give you clue number one, and you will be working together, not against each other, but together to solve the clue, which leads you to the next location, where you'll find the next clue, which will lead you to another clue and another clue until you find the final clue and become the winner. We will also be timing Kate and Carson to see how long does it take them to get all the clues and find the last one. Are you ready, Kate?
No.
All right, are you ready, Carson? It doesn't matter because we begin in 3, 2, 1, go.
Clue number one. Right now you are hungry. You need to feel sun. Then this outside table is where you should run. I found it too.
Clue number 2. I see every car that drives by our church and shout out our name to those who might search for our building to hear about God and His Son. To Valley Baptist sign is where you must run. Oh no, that way.
Okay. Clue number 3. You'll probably notice my 88 keys. My my great vocal range and close harmonies. I'm quite helpful whenever you need to sing songs. Try looking beneath me and see, and your search won't go wrong.
It's right here. It says clue number 4. Brr, it's so cold and I'm shaking so much. You can find your next clue where you keep food and such.
It's in the kitchen, in the freezer. Oh, it's this one.
Yeah, it's probably that one though. Oh, let's talk about that one. I'll talk about this one.
That's a fridge.
I know.
Oh, I found it.
Oh my goodness. Let's take to it.
It says, clue number 5. I'm bigger than other locations you've been, but I have to be big to have basketball rings.
Oh.
And a kitchen and rooms to let the kids play some more games. My name sounds just like your dad's real first name.
Oh.
It's the basketball gym place.
Okay. Clue number 5. Now back to the place where you started. Where it started it all. Oh my goodness. It all. And find your last clue in a cabinet that's small.
It's a jar.
What does it say? You have to go.
Okay. You made it. You did it. You're the winners today. Now do a happy dance while shouting, yay, yay, now.
All right, Kate and Carson, you are back. How'd it go? What was the hardest part? What was the hardest clue, first of all? Which one did you have the hardest time with?
Cabinet. Either the last one or...
You didn't think that was a cabinet?
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing is like
But,
a cabinet, even though you had to look in the drawer.
The one I didn't like was the one where you had to walk all the way outside, all the way
To the sign? The church sign, yeah. Was that hard?
Found it.
You found it? Yeah, that was a hard one. And I noticed that Carson literally wore no shoes the entire time. Is that right? Yes. What was your thought behind that strategy of no shoes?
I didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah, when your mom sees this video, she's going to be super upset. All right, good job. You won this challenge. Next week, it might be a little harder. We will see. Did you know that God, in His master plan to save the humans from their sin, left little clues all throughout the Bible pointing to Jesus? Yeah, He did. We call them prophecies. A prophecy was a fact about the future that God revealed to humans. And all throughout the Bible, God left little prophecies that gave information about how Jesus would come, where He would come, and how He would save the world. So, when Adam and Eve sinned, God began giving little clues along the way to help humans know how He would save the world. And when did you think God gave the very first clue about how He would save the world? Immediately. In fact, we find the very first clue about Jesus in the exact same chapter in which Adam and Eve sinned against God. It's found in Genesis 3:15. And we read this as God speaks to the serpent. And I will cause hostility between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He will strike your head, and you will strike his heel. Did you see the clues inside the verse? Let's look at it real carefully. First, God says that from now on, Satan and humans would be at war with one another. Satan would continue to try to deceive humans, and Satan would try to destroy humans. But God says that a human would someday come, someone born from a woman, who would actually crush the serpent's head or kill Satan. You probably know that if someone wants to kill a snake, typically you crush their head or cut their head off. In other words, that human that comes, he will actually kill Satan himself. But notice the very last line. But also, the serpent, or Satan, would actually bruise the heel of the human that would come. This means that even though the human will destroy Satan, Satan would actually cause great pain and suffering in the life of that human. So whoever that human was that was coming to kill Satan, he himself would be wounded and feel great pain during the battle. So I reworded that clue to sound like this. Poor Adam and Eve, since the fruit they did take, a war has begun between man and the snake. A human would crush Satan's head with his heel, but he too will be wounded and great pain will feel. And can you see how this clue begins to point to Jesus? Two things. First, Jesus was the human that came to destroy Satan. In fact, that's exactly what the Bible tells us. In 1 John 3:8, the Bible says that the Son of God came to destroy the works of the devil. Second, Jesus was deeply wounded by his act of sacrifice to destroy Satan. Remember, he had to suffer on the cross, and while he was on the cross, he cried out in deep agony in the suffering that he had to experience. Isn't it amazing that God gave humans a clue immediately after they sinned against him? It's just one more way we can see that God's plan to save humans was already in place well before Adam and Eve sinned. And how many clues are there like this in the Bible? Hundreds. And we'll talk about that next time on Valley Kids. All right, so here's what we learned today. First of all, God left clues called prophecies all throughout the Bible to point people to Jesus and how God would save the world through Jesus. We also learned that the very first clue was found in the same chapter in which Adam and Eve sinned. Genesis 3:15 says, "And I will cause hostility between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He will strike your head, and you will strike his heel." Now, you may have noticed if you watch these videos often that I'm in a different location right now. And that's because we are working on the Valley Kids room. We are so grateful that we are able to start repainting and redecorating some of the areas that we usually use for Valley Kids here at Valley Baptist Church. If you're a part of Valley Baptist Church, I want you to be a part of Valley Kids, and we have a plan to start meeting again in person, hopefully, prayerfully, come January. So right now we're redecorating everything so we have a really cool space, and we're making it so easy for you to check in and check out when you come to be a part of Valley Kids in person. We really wish we could meet in person right now, but right now, for the time being, we're working on getting a place that's really nice when you come back again. All right, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on Valley Kids Online.